Another delay, another disappointment. Hello everyone, and welcome to Action RPG. I'm your host Aaron, and for today's video we are going to be talking about my disappointment with Amazon Game Studios based upon its first two major titles, those being Crucible and New World. We're going to be talking about the state of each game and what Amazon did wrong. But first, if you're new here, welcome. Here at Action RPG, I stream, I do tech reviews, I cover major gaming news, but the big portion of this channel, all things Action RPG. So if you grew up loving the Diablo series, if you're a fan of top-down isometric hack and slash style games, you are in the right place. So please consider subscribing and supporting small channels. All right, let's talk about these two dumpster fires. As always, I will share my thoughts. Please feel free to share yours in the comment section below. Here we go. All right, so let's jump right into this. Now I want to be clear, out of the last 100 videos I have posted on my channel, 15 of them are based upon Amazon Game Studios' Crucible, which is a third-person shooter, and New World, which is an MMO. They're not even action RPGs, but I was excited to see what Amazon Game Studios had to offer. And so far, I am beyond disappointed. Let's start with Crucible. Amazon spent 6 years and tens of millions of dollars making a huge new game that flopped and was pulled from stores weeks after launch. In case you were curious, Amazon is in the top 10 for largest companies in the world. So to them, 10 millions, that's that's literally nothing. It's a rounding error. Did you know that Amazon, the biggest company in the world, launched a big budget video game recently? The game is called Crucible, and you're forgiven if this is the first you're hearing about it. Despite being free to play and available on the world's largest gaming platform, Steam, Crucible has already come and gone from the top 100 charts. Crazier still, Amazon outright pulled the game from the digital store late June. Starting tomorrow, Crucible is back to closed beta, a note posted on the game's developer blog on June 30th. So how did Crucible, a free-to-play multiplayer game, go from promising new game to being pulled from storefronts in just a few weeks? Here's what we know. Now, I covered every single character in Crucible. I broke them down. I broke down gameplay. I talked about their update. I even talked about what the developers were doing to try and fix the game. I really covered this game because I thought it was going to be special. And it wasn't. It's important to understand the type of game that Crucible is, a team-based online multiplayer shooter, more akin to Overwatch than to Fortnite, but the gameplay takes more inspiration from the world of MOBAs, League of Legends, Dota 2, for instance, with competitive shooters. Also to note, it's a free-to-play game with a PC focus, which puts it in a direct competition with games like Valorant from Riot Games. Amazon's goal for Crucible was to attract tens of millions of players and, with any luck, have it become a major esports game. The contrast between how Crucible launched and how Valorant launched is illustrative of why the former failed while the latter succeeded. While Valorant launched this year, it was available in a closed beta and you could only access by watching the Twitch streamers play the live game. Through a drop-down system tied to Twitch accounts, viewers could gain access to the beta. This way, new Valorant players already had some idea of how to play the game because they had watched someone play. That is true and untrue. Figured I should finish the paragraph. I had multiple friends that literally just left multiple Twitch live streams running until they gained access to the beta. So obviously there's no way to know if you're watching it, but I'm sure most people did. In the weeks leading up to the launch of Crucible in late May, Amazon didn't utilize its own streaming service. Amazon owns Twitch. It's like the dumbest thing in the world. Why would you not use the company you own, which also you can play the game? To promote the game, there were no major streamers playing the game or hyping it up, no trailers for the game running as ads, no drop systems to gain access. Similarly, on YouTube, where gamers dominate attention, ads for Crucible were nowhere to be seen. Wait, there was no ads, but I was covering it. I know I got a little channel. As of May 21st, the day it launched, Crucible had around 25,000 concurrent players at peak. By May 22nd, it had already disappeared from the top 100. A list most played by Steam bottoms around 5,000 concurrent players, which is to say 2 days after launch, fewer than 5,000 people were playing Crucible at any given time. By comparison, the most played games average around 1 million concurrent players. Yada yada yada. The logic of the free-to-game plays is to bring a ton of players in and either sell ads that appear in-game based on huge user numbers, or sell in-game cosmetic items that players can purchase. They were going the cosmetic battle pass route. Fortnite is a great example of this. Yeah. Simply no one is playing your game. There's no one to buy your virtual items, a major issue when the business model is predicted on huge user base. In the weeks following launch, player numbers continue to drop. By mid-June, the game averaged the low hundreds of players at any given time. A major budget third-person shooter designed for esports, created by one of the largest, if not the largest company in the world. Hundreds of players playing. Hundreds. The poor launch of Crucible led to a gradual decline in players until just a few, except for launch, no more than 100 players were still online. Beyond being a business problem, the low players number made it hard for few players to still playing to find other players. The issue was compounded by the game itself. Crucible initially launched with 3 separate game modes, where were split. Blah blah blah. On June 30th, Amazon outright pulled the game out of open release and put it back into closed beta, a term used for games that are still in development. Yikes. The reality is no doubt more complicated, but it's clear that even after 5+ years of development and tens of millions of dollars, Amazon still has more work to do. Okay, well, we can chalk this up to really the first major game they're dropping. They sell everything, right? They don't create video games, so Amazon Game Studios, alright, like this one didn't work out, I'm sure you're going to relaunch it and it's going to be a whole lot better. Let's talk about their second game. Now we are moving over to Screen Rant. Why Amazon's New World got delayed a whole year. Amazon's up-and-coming open-world MMO game, New World, has been delayed for the second time this year, with an expected launch date in spring 2020. We should be playing this game right now. The initial launch date was May 2020, but coronavirus hit and everyone had to work remotely, which slowed production and development of the game. Okay, we understand that. Makes perfect sense. It's happening to everyone. So they backed it up until the end of August. So you gotta wait 3 months and then you'll be able to get your hands on this game. Now we have to wait at bare minimum another year. Amazon's up-and-coming New World game is delayed once again, with the expected release date sometime during spring 2021 season. This is the second delay. Yeah, I said that. New World is slated to be an open-world MMO-style game taking place in the mystical island known as Eternum. We know that. Based on a developer diary posted by Amazon Game Studios director Rich Lawrence, the delay of New World was primarily driven by player feedback and the team's desire to include additional content to the title. Based on the comments provided by alpha testers, many were a bit underwhelmed at what the game had to offer in its current state. While Rich stated that much of the feedback was positive, players wanted to see more features and story. It seemed the Amazon Game Studios team will primarily be focused on including additional middle and end game content to allow players a more thorough experience in the world of Eternum. So, when it comes to game studios, you always want to see that they are listening to the community. It is probably the #1 most important thing to us. Our voices are heard. They actually make changes based upon the players' feedback, the ones that are paying them the money to create and develop the game. That is very, very important. I know multiple people that have alpha and beta tested this game, and a lot of them like it. There is some feedback on the PvP system and how they updated it, but all in all, fairly positive, just like this says. I don't buy this. I just don't buy it. You can always make a game better. You can always work on it, right? And this next paragraph is literally, this is the slap in the face. Read this. Oh man. For players who had signed up for New World's beta on or before July 9th, pre-ordered the game, so you've actually pre-ordered the game to buy it, or were an alpha tester, you will be able to participate in a first look experience on August 25th, which is supposed to be the release date of the game, for a limited time. Players can explore what New World has to offer on its current state or what would have been presented to the public if the original 2020 launch date was upheld. It seems the game is in a fully functional state, but Amazon Game Studios wants to improve the content and overall quality of the title before securing an official release. News of the delay comes only 2 weeks after Amazon decided to push back Crucible. We've already talked about Crucible. Man, oh man. So when you actually go to Steam now, release date, spring 2021. But don't worry. If you paid the $40 or $50 to pre-purchase this game, you can log in on August 25th to play the fully functional game for a limited time, and then they'll kick you off. So you can get a small little taste of the game you have been following and waiting to play before they pull it down and you have to wait 1 year. Amazon Game Studios, you are 0-for-2. You are not doing very well. Crucible was an absolute disaster. New World has not dropped yet, so I can't say that it is a disaster, but the fact that you are going to make the community wait another year after all the development updates, after breaking down the entire game for everybody with building all this excitement and buzz, it is going to go right down. Okay. I don't like making negative videos. This one just really irked me because I've covered so much content for Amazon Game Studios, New World, and Crucible. And I highly doubt I'm going to cover anything else. So that's where we're at. That is the video. I want to know what you think. Am I completely overreacting? Is it, Aaron, listen, Crucible was a wreck. They need to fix it. New World's not done. They need to add more to it. Am I completely overreacting, or have they failed us on their first 2 games? Let me know in the comment section below. If you have not joined the official Action RPG Discord, we're approaching 170 members. Good conversations every single day. The idea is to have a group, a gaming community that could jump from game to game together so you never start the server by yourself. The link is in the description below. Stay home, stay safe. Don't forget to join the official Action RPG Discord. Aaron.